When you think you're alone. Mia had just finished her long shift at the office and was ready to go home. She entered the building's elevator, pressed the button for the ground floor, and let out a relieved sigh. The cool metallic walls of the elevator offered a brief moment of peace before the chaos of the world outside. The elevator was empty just the way Mia liked it. She leaned back against the wall and, without thinking, started humming a familiar lullaby her mother used to sing to her. It was a habit, one she often did when she was alone. "Hush, little baby, don't say a word." Her soft voice filled the small space, blending with the gentle hum of the elevator. The numbers above the doors flickered: 9, 8, 7. As the elevator began its slow descent, Mia closed her eyes for a moment, lost in the comfort of the song. Then out of nowhere, she heard a whisper. It was so soft she almost didn't catch it. It was a voice not hers, but so close, behind her. "Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird." Mia froze. She blinked, her heart racing. She quickly turned around. The elevator was completely empty. Her own reflection stared back at her, pale and wide-eyed. Nothing else. Her breath quickened. It was just her imagination. It had to be. The elevator continued its descent, and Mia tried to calm herself. She turned back to face the doors, but the feeling of being watched wouldn't leave her. She began to sing again, her voice wavering a little. "And if that mockingbird won't sing." A sudden movement, just behind her. She barely caught it. A figure shifting in the shadows. She spun around, heart pounding in her chest, but nothing. The corner of the elevator was empty. Mia's breath hitched. Her stomach twisted with dread. She stepped back, her back pressing against the elevator wall. She wasn't alone. The song continued to echo in the cold air, but now it wasn't her voice. There, standing in the farthest corner, was a man. His face was hidden by a mess of greasy hair, but his lips were moving, whispering the same words she had been singing. Slowly, he took a step forward. Mia gasped, her heart racing. The elevator's hum seemed to grow louder, its lights flickering in sync with her rising panic. Who was this man? Suddenly, the elevator plunged into complete darkness. Mia's blood ran cold. The only sound was the soft scrape of footsteps in the dark. She could barely breathe, the darkness pressing in on her like a heavy blanket. Panic surged through her veins as she clutched at the metal wall, desperate for anything familiar. The soft scraping sound grew louder, echoing in the small space. "Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring." The haunting melody twisted in the air around her, chilling her to the bone. It made no sense. She had been singing that to herself just moments before. Tremors of fear coursed through her body as the figure moved closer, his presence heavy and suffocating. Each heartbeat echoed in her ears like a drum pounding louder as she tried to make sense of the nightmare unfolding. The emergency alarm flickered to life, casting a red glow that illuminated the figure's face, a mask of madness wrapped in shadows. Mia couldn't hold it together anymore. She took a step back, trembling as she whispered to herself, "It's not real. It's just my mind." But with every blink of her eyes, the figure remained inching nearer in the dim light. Then, just as quickly as it started, the lights flickered back on, illuminating the elevator. Mia gasped as she found herself alone, the space now eerily quiet, but she could still feel his presence lingering. With shaky breath, she pressed the button for the lobby, praying the doors would open soon.